You've got music, you've got theme music, you're approaching at a good rate of speed. You're coming up to the podium. Charlotte Harris, Boat International. How can we communicate with the charters of tomorrow?
Thank you. Mr. Dibber.
I think you're all set.
Hi there. Thank you for having me here. I'm Charlotte Harris. I've been at Boat International for 3 years now, 3 years in January. I came from a different background to yachting. I was at Time Inc. for 10 years before I joined Boat International, both on the Insight team, but then working with clients like Land Rover, Gatorade, Pedigree Chum Dog Food, working across a lot of different titles to help clients really promote themselves and really kind of target these niche audiences that we have in the UK around golf and rugby and various things like that. So I kind of thought, what can I talk about? Well, I can talk about some insights that I have in terms of what the ultra-wealthy are doing with themselves now. I can then help you maybe look at some ways that we can translate that into, as I say, communicating with the charterers of tomorrow. So at the moment, there are 3 trends that we're seeing amongst the young and wealthy. Billionaires are getting younger, and the way they show their wealth is changing. On demand is a culture, and adventure, and thank you to the guys that came before me. He talked a lot about Antarctica and various different adventure things that you can do, scuba diving, etc. Adventure is becoming something that people want to do now. But then again, so all these trends are great, but how does that translate to anything that we can do while we're talking to them? So the new rich. There are now more billionaires in the world than ever before. America is still by far and away the biggest audience for the billionaire market. Saying that though, there are 76 newcomers from China. Really interestingly, there's 24 women in the newcomers list. But the people I want to talk about are these 2 guys here, John and Patrick Collison. They definitely don't know they want to charter a yacht or buy a yacht or do anything. They're from Limerick in Ireland. They share a flat in San Francisco. They were new entries to the billionaires list. They are 28 and 26 each. One of my colleagues, Sean Connolly, also from Limerick in Ireland, who some of you might know for uploading your charter listings, his girlfriend actually was in a seminar with these guys in Ireland, and she beat them. She was the young entrepreneur of that year, and she's kind of kicking herself now because they've slightly progressed above her. Kevin Systrom, he sold off his £1 billion share of Instagram to Facebook. Again, he's 33, he lives in Silicon Valley. He's very eco-friendly. He's a very, very different person than the people that are chartering yachts at the moment. So where are the new rich? This slide grates on me. I'm from London. It's the only one in the top 5 with a red tally. But, it's New York, it's Hong Kong, it's Tokyo. Paris is really surging up the list. It's definitely grown in the last few years. LA, as you could imagine. But it's interesting. As you can see, we all talk about China massively as the new emerging market, but it's still very much America, and it's still very much about this young, wealthy audience. So on demand is another trend that we're seeing. This isn't just Uber and Lyft. It's people just getting on their phones and ordering their groceries like that. Saying that, it's also becoming more and more synonymous with the jet world. So people like VistaJet and NetJets have all got online platforms that people just put in their phone where they want to fly, when they want to fly, and off they shoot. We did something online recently about VistaJet's new online app, and it's a $10,000 membership, but you can literally just put yourself on a jet in a minute's notice. So this is kind of the way these people are starting to think. I'm not saying they're going to text you and charter a yacht like this, but saying that it's what this mindset of the young, wealthy are thinking about. The final trend, and I think a lot of us are on commission with EOS right now, but access is the new luxury. This is something that Ben Lyons said to my colleague in the office as the charter and destinations editor. Access isn't about getting into the coolest nightclubs anymore, the best restaurants. Access is about doing things that you've never done before. It's going to Antarctica. It's going to Patagonia. It's going to the Mergui Islands off Thailand. It's really a different concept than it was before. So adventure travel is the new luxury. So experienced travel is thriving. WealthX have said this. They've seen it in their wealth report from last year, that this experience is really something that people are looking for. It's not necessarily about families having time away and the kids go off with a nanny. It's about families having time and doing something educational with their children, whether it's seeing penguins or it's whale watching or it's diving. Money rich, time poor is becoming the normal, always has been, but I think it's becoming ever more present. And interestingly, my travel editor was telling me about this natural world safaris that launched a 24-hour adventure to Antarctica. So obviously not on a yacht, but it's you fly in, you have an amazing dinner, you go and see some highlights, and then you fly out again. That starts at $10,000 per head. But you know, this is what people are wanting, and this is what you see a lot in the press these days, is this experience. So what does it all mean? Are we supposed to be talking to celebrities, couples? Are we supposed to be talking about experiences and charter greatly? And I can only look at some of the things that we're doing as Boat International to kind of help you identify what can be done. So we've opened up a door to a wider audience. We had a brilliant brand in Boat International, but we've just increased that appeal. So whether that's through the magazines or the websites, you know, the website now has over 500,000 users on it. They all can't afford to charter, but you're getting at that level that they will eventually one day have that money to do it, and you're opening it up. That's really key. So the voyage section is now incredibly important in what we're doing. Charter is becoming more and more important as well. Subscriptions are up 60% since redesign, and how we've done this is we haven't lost any of the core content. So it's still about the yachts, and it's about the beautiful places that you can go to on those yachts. But we've opened it up by making it more female-friendly. So interiors is becoming huge within the issue. Voyage is becoming huge. It's also something that anyone can pick up and read and enjoy, and that's the key, that we can't kind of put up a wall around yachting, because we need people to be yachting tomorrow. Conveying the right message. I think this is really important. You know, we are in a luxury industry. As I say, the charterers of tomorrow don't know that they want to charter today. So it's our role to talk about charter as this experience, as this adventure. If you get the opportunity and you have a yacht somewhere, then talk about it if you can. But you know, do it in the right way. Another thing that you have to be aware of is this audience really are very keen on philanthropy and on green issues and talking in the right way. So they, within Silicon Valley, as an example, there are so many initiatives and foundations and people talking about plastic, and veganism has never been so high. So, you know, everyone is looking at the environment in a much different light. What does that mean? The one thing I would say is that we can never discount on the fact that as people don't know about charter or know that they want to charter necessarily, things like why you should charter a yacht on our site is really popular. People can Google chartering a yacht, various things like that. 60% of our traffic to the charter section comes in through Google and Google search. 20% comes in through social media. So we can never assume that people know these basics. People are using the internet now into markets that they never thought about before, because there's no pressure from any of their friends. No one's going to scoff at them if they don't know how much to tip on a yacht. No one's going to scoff at them if they don't know who to call or what to do to get a yacht. So this is opening up that audience. Other things that we're finding really popular on the site are things like how to create the ultimate charter experience. Again, we work with quite a few brands and various different people to help portray that experience and that excitement that people have. And then we have done now for the last 2 years, we created the Ocean Awards. So this is looking at people within the industry that are really helping the oceans. It's, you know, covers that philanthropic tick in the box. This year we're changing it slightly. Last year was very much about the awards and award ceremony and lots of celebrations, and actually is having drinks around oceans the right thing to do. So this year, or into 2018, we're going to change that up, and we have the first ocean talks in London. So we're going to hope that we push this over to New York the year after, because, you know, as I showed, New York is where the ultra wealthy are. But the Ocean Awards is really something to celebrate and something that we should all be thinking about, whether you have great initiatives on yachts and it's something you want to enter, or it's something you want to attend in terms of the ocean talks. It's a good thing for everyone. The final thing I want to talk about is Travel Tuesday. So social media is the buzz. All the kids are on social media. In fact, everyone up to about my mum, who is older, is on social media. So there are great ways to do it. I'm going to come on the next slide. There's some warnings about it as well. But this is Travel Tuesday is something that my editor uses a lot within our company because it's a good way of getting out to the world. People might be aware of things like Throwback Thursday and various different hashtags like that. And Travel Tuesday is the one for the industry, obviously as in the travel industry. So, luxury travel, life experience, stuff like that is great, but Travel Tuesday is becoming the one that people use. The throwback to social media is it has to be treated with the utmost respect. It can go pretty horribly wrong. 50 Cent got taken back to court after filing for bankruptcy because supposedly writing broke in $100 bills doesn't imply that you're bankrupt. According to an article I found on The Telegraph, cyber intelligence say that 75% of firms or of litigation cases, they use social media to claim. Actually, yachts were talked about in the article as well. So for every yay, let's talk about everything on social media, there's also a let's be really cautious with it. This is an example of a Russian heiress down at the bottom. There's a thing on social media called Rich Kids of London. It's very Eastern European and Russian subscribed to. It's really flash, and there's two cases where someone was claiming they didn't need to pay tax in the UK, and then his daughter posted, "Yeah, I'm at Daddy's house in Sloane Square in London." So that kind of backfired greatly. But yeah, so in summary then, I've rattled through it quite quickly because I'm hungry, I'm jet lagged. 3 areas to consider when you think about who the charterers of tomorrow are. They're new to yachting. As I said, they might not know they need to charter a yacht or buy a yacht or be involved with it in the first place. As I say, those 2 lads from Limerick, they share a flat together. They share an apartment. They're not in the super yacht zone yet. Experience travel is a trend. It's been pointed out as something the ultra wealthy want to do, but we've talked about various different things today, and something that you can give that's extra is really, really important. And yes, I don't think people are going to charter a yacht by clicking an app just yet, but this is the mentality of the people that might do tomorrow. Thank you for your time.